man.
Bro, you could fix every problem in the world if you just lived aligned to nature. That's it.
Got to get in touch with our nature. I've been saying that since episode 1.
That's what we're made of.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah, we forget that.
You know, it's like super simple, but we walk around all day. Our feet are not even touching the ground. We got these rubber soles.
Yeah.
Where we can't
not
even...
getting your electrons.
Yeah, you're not grounding,
bro.
We're not
grounding,
we
bro.
don't get the sunlight one. Is
Lord, it's
dude,
a damn shame.
Sunlight. Listen, this Americans spend 90% of their lives indoors. That's the craziest stat I've ever heard.
To me, that's winning. We've crushed it.
We
tamed nature.
You think we should just be veal people now?
We tamed nature.
We should just lay and sit all the time.
Yeah, you guys on your boys.
I'd love
on the boys,
get your
man.
boys.
I would love to get like a Roman sentry, like a Roman soldier who spent his life marching the Alps and the lands of Europe, looking how we live, and get him to be like, you guys ever think about taking your shoes off and turning that air conditioning off? Live with nature. Yeah, I get it. But I also maybe like, nice climate control, little TV,
a little nice,
little bug-free zone.
Yeah,
not so bad either. Maybe it's like we said before, happy mediums.
The fact that the reason I think there's so much like depression and mental illness and all this stuff is because we're out of touch with nature.
Facts.
When we had our life, like when you had to just focus on hunting and gathering to make your meal, your purpose is so ignited. Mm-hmm. You don't have time to think about, what should I, you know what I mean? Just, I think, what do you guys think? I know you agree with me, right?
For a fact.
What do you think, G?
I
want to hear your argument for that.
So I would say yes, but I think if we talk about returning to traditional lifestyles, the biggest mistake that we made, you talked about it earlier.
Nowadays, everyone just wants to be a TikTok star, and then they're going to watch their video get, 20 views, and they're going to be depressed.
Yeah, pretty much.
But if they had to go out and if they didn't get some food, they're going to die. You're going to be in the zone.
There's no doubt about it. But I think that it's actually much more identifiable. And this is just my personal opinion. I have no studies to back it up. It's just anecdotal. The idea, like you said before, as your quote unquote rock bottom was having to move back into your parents' home. For the history of our species, the centralized family, the family unit, was supposed to be big and get larger. The idea of success was I have a castle because I have my kids and my kids have kids and my kids' kids.
We just added on. We had additions. And
the Viking longhouse, right? The TP community. But to sell houses in suburban America post World War II, they turned it into...
They had to propagandize
and make 100%.
People be like, come on, you got to move out and go get your own house.
Operation Mockingbird.
Really, we all should have... And probably, again, to everybody's like happiness is like you have the land that you started on with your parents and then you build on an addition, or maybe you buy more land, you buy the house next door, and you have a compound.
Correct.
I want to live on like a compound situation when I'm, I
do want to say real quick, so that wasn't really my rock bottom as much. Like that, I was chilling, in my parents' basement. I still enjoyed life and was doing stuff
in the basement.
Yeah. I had the basements myself. My rock bottom was when I was drinking my ass off and not outside in line with nature.
Sure.
Yeah, that shit sucked.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. Alcohol's a thief. There's no doubt about it, man.
Yeah.
It's fun, but alcohol's a thief.
Sure.
But just to kind of complete the thought, there's things that all coincided at the same time that when we look back in retrospect, it's very difficult for me to think that these weren't planned in some way. You had the sexual revolution, where the idea was have as much sex as you can with as many people as you can, and you can't do that in your parents' home. Right? Like you can't have like, wild 60s swingers sex parties, while you're living with grandma and grandpa, your sister's in the house. And then you have what I think they would term third wave feminism, which is the idea that women shouldn't be having kids. Being a mother, you're only a mother because that's what they forced on you. Unless you have a career of your own, your life's a failure. You're a victim of the system. So all of these things coincided with this. And I'm not like I'm not like a Christian nationalist. I'm not some sort of like, repressive guy. But it's very interesting to me that all at the same time it was move away from your family, don't have a family of your own. If you're in love with somebody, make sure you spend as much time away from them as humanly possible. So when you talk about depression, we talk about wealth, right? What do you ever hear about a trust? Oh, he's a trust fund kid. That's generational wealth. How many of us have wealth systems within our family? How many people could you go to in your family? My aunt would invest in my business. My uncle would invest in my business. My family puts together a real estate trust. I am in a family of, my dad is one of 7 and my mom is one of 8. If we grew up in China, you would have Harron Holdings and we would own entire blocks of mini malls and we'd be set up for 15 years. If we were an Indian family, and people are going to probably come at me for stereotyping, but I don't give a shit because it's the fucking truth. We would,
these are positive stereotypes.
It's just the truth. Our family would have 7 Subways and 10 7-Elevens. And we would be building generational wealth. But us being Americans, Brooklyn, they went from 7 people in one family to 3 people in Long Island, 2 people in Staten Island, 3 people in Jersey. And now we've gone from that to 2 people in 2 people in Asbury, 1 person in Florida. We have nothing. We build nothing together. It's been built into us that it was more important for me. And I'm as guilty of this as anybody. And maybe I'm in a privileged position because I got out and I did. I traveled the country and I played a sport and I had a ton of fucking sex and I get it. I lived that kind of like rock star dream world.
Stop bragging.
You just threw in the sex thing.
But I'm not bragging because it's important to understand this shit because listen, at the end of the day, I couldn't have lived the lifestyle I wanted to live under my parents' fucking roof.
Yeah, man, I'll really fuck up your pussy game.
Think about it,
Cramp
right?
your style.
So for men, we're conditioned to think that one night stand with that hua is more important than spending time and building generational wealth with your family.
Who thinks
100%.
that?
We've been conditioned as a society to think that. Everybody thinks that. That's how they've conditioned us for generations to think if you're 26 years old and you have one girlfriend and you live in your parents' house, your boys are going to call you a loser.
Right.
But maybe that's your wife who you're going to build a fucking life with, and you're not spending all of your resources and time, effort, and energy on how much money. I hope to God when I die. I hope to God when I die, there's like, you ever seen like Grand Theft Auto where you can like look at the stats?
Yeah.
I want to see how much money I wasted on women that I talked to 36 hours of my life.
Yeah.
I want to see how much resources, how much of my I have just
I like to
lit
think
on
when
fire.
you die, you get to see like a whole movie of your life. You know what I mean? You get to see everything.
Be a
and
long-ass
like
movie.
but in terms of eternity,
Yeah.
it's like seconds. You know what I mean?
Poor Mick is going to be sitting there in the middle of it, just fast forwarding the hours of me talking like, Jesus Christ, this guy shut the up. Oh my God.
G's gonna see my subcredit of the card he gave me for my day.
But you guys understand what I'm saying? And I get it. Like, this is one of these red pill traditionalist things, but it's true, man. It's true. Like, guys, the way forward in this world, man, is you want to have your freedom, you want to have your sexual freedom, you want to grow, but like, get a pool house in the backyard or something like that. Invest in family. The family unit is power, strength, and wealth. That's why they want to rip it apart.
Fucking right.
That's my thing.
Amen to that. Let's go.
Lord, it's a damn shame what the world's come to for families like me and for fudges like you. Yeah. Now, if you want to really get into some fucking deep waters, we could talk about this is why they push the LGBTQ thing on everybody because, now we're getting into depopulation and it's nothing wrong with being gay. There's nothing wrong with being gay.
You hear that, Nat?
Nothing wrong with it. I enjoy the Roy G. Biv community immensely.
You hear that,
However,
I was waiting for that one.
However, yeah, they want the perfect world for these elites going forward is 2 of the same sex people living in one bedroom apartment where they never see
having
each other.
kids.
Never see each other. Alternate 8 hours on and 8 hours off. You go work the 9 to 5, and your partner goes and works as a bartender at night. And you
Get
just
the weekends together.
and then maybe. And then you wonder why we're depressed and we're alcoholics and we're searching for something.
Yeah,
You want to talk about being disconnected? The way you guys feel strongly about nature, that's how I feel about
It's all depolarized, bro. Yeah, it's all depolarized. I mean, women are becoming dudes. Dudes are becoming women. So it's like once you just pick up those innate energies, then everything just kind of collapses. And so it's like, yeah, I mean, dudes are every single day. The only thing in front of the average guy's face is like Nelk and just getting fucked up and like just stupid, ignorant shit. And the nuclear family is what brings everything together. And whether you're like religious, spiritual, whatever, it's like that is what God or the Creator intended, is to build that and to build wealth. And so you're doing yourself a disservice, you're doing the world a disservice if you don't get your shit together and you build something for the purpose of building a family and generational wealth and carry on something next to the next generation that's coming up.